Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and the final video on 8.2. Finally, video number 36. We are going to do 8.2.1 Fighting Dirty, Clean Slate, High Voltage, Shock Vulnerability, and Specially Energetic. The defenders are going to be Cyclops, Ronin, Havok, Quake, Karnak, and Cable, and we will end up with the boss that is going to be Black Panther. The first node is going to be Fighting Dirty, so at the end of a defender special attack, they will get unblockable for 6 seconds. But this will not trigger if there is a shock on the defender. Now each time tech attacker will either inflict a power drain, burn, or lock on the defender, they'll be inflicted with a passive shock for 12 seconds. So use your tech champions with the power drain, steal, or lock, and that will help you keep the passive shock up on the opponent and avoid fighting dirty. So whenever the defender finishes a special attack, they will gain a debuff immunity for 4 seconds. The duration of this is increased for 2 seconds for each debuff that is on the opponent. So that is going to be clean stake. So your active shocks might not work, but your passive shocks that you will get from fighting dirty or from high voltage will work very well. And because of shocks, there is also shock vulnerability, so you will do 200% extra damage whenever the defender will have an active shock on them. And whenever the defender will use a special attack, they will gain an energized passive that will increase their power rate by 75% for 5 seconds. Now after the nodes, your best suggested counters are going to be your tech champions with easy access to power drain, steal, or lock. Or you can use some other shock champions as well, but remember the defender will be unblockable. They will also have energized passive, so there's a lot to be look out for. I would suggest just stick with your tech champions. It would be much easy. You can run Ouchie Masteries if you like, and the boss we're going to attempt is going to be a Black Panther with breakneck speed, shank, fight or flight, resistance is futile, and special 2 bias. More on that later in the video, so let's jump into the path, guys. The first fight is going to be against a Cyclops. I am going to use a Nimrod here, and I have Omega Red synergy as well. What I'm trying to do here is to slowly build up to an SP2 and throw like a big one with maximum armor so I can do a lot of damage. But in the meanwhile, I understand that he will throw specials and that will give him energize and also clean slate. But because there is a shock as well, he will not go unblockable after. So Nimrod is a really good counter for most champions on this path. So you just have to play a little slow. You can choose not to attack while the energize is there so you don't give back-to-back specials. I don't really think that it's a big deal. I can just always stop at 2 bars of power and then let him throw a special attack again, so you can take him down. Whenever you will drain his power or power lock, that will help you get a shock on the opponent. So yeah, just be wary about that. Tech champions for power gain, power lock will work best. That will give shock on the opponent, and that will pretty much disable any kind of node on this path. The second defender is going to be a Ronin, and I'm going to use a Guillotine 2099. She is a tech champion, and I have her as a 7-star, and she's amazing in a way that you can spam your special one that will not only power drain the opponent, but also she will apply all of those shocks because of power drain, and the opponent will never go unblockable. Although she will take a lot of time to ramp up in the first fight because you need to have at least 100 hits before she can do some good damage. So that's something you need to take care about. But for the second and third fight, she can run the whole path quite easily because you can use the pre-fight where she burns power after 100 hits, and then you can have a shock on the opponent every time. So she is a very great champion for this path. Once you have her built up, she can run through the path very easily and finish off these fights in quick succession. Next up is going to be a Havok. I'm going to use an infamous Iron Man. You need a champion either who has easy access to power drain or has a permanent armor up, or you can get armor up by any means because you have to avoid that plasma damage from Havok. Now the good part of infamous Iron Man, he is a tech champion and he also has a built-in shock. So you can use that to your advantage and you can get those passive shocks up and do extra damage. You can either opt for going into a special 2, use a 5-hit combo, use a heavy attack to activate Aura of Iron into an SP2 to power drain, or you can go for an SP3 and then that will permanently power lock the opponent and you can use that to kill him off. I think I display both of them during this fight. The first time I use an SP2 when he has 3 bars of power, and the second time I use an SP3 and power lock him and then I kill him off slowly with my SP1 spam. The next defender is going to be a Quake. Now both of her special attacks are easily evadable, so I'm going to opt to go for Black Widow Deadly Origin so I can stack up those shocks and do extra damage and kill her faster. Now with every special attack she is going to get an energize and it will be easier for me to push her to an SP2 because SP2 is much easier to evade, and she will not go unblockable because she will have shocks on her. So once she does have shocks on her, I don't need to worry about the unblockable. I can easily take her out and keep constantly pushing her to an SP2. Now there might be a chance that there is no shock, she might go unblockable, so I would suggest the safer way is to use a tech champion with power drain lock or power drainer lock, so you can keep that shock on her to avoid that unblockable and or that energize. But there's another option with Black Widow Deadly Regen or non-tech champions, they also work. You just have to work around and dance around a little more with the specials. Next up we have a Karnak. His both specials can be easily evaded. I'm going to use a Guillotine 2099. Unfortunately she is not built up with a 100 combo, otherwise I would have started with the power drain pre-fight and this fight have been much faster and much easier. So I'm just gonna go for the SP1 spam, but if you have a Guillotine 2099 I would suggest you bring for this path, build her up from the first fight, and then you can use her pre-fight ability and you can keep power draining the opponent and keep the shocks up on with every hit, and she will destroy this whole path very easily. End up the fights with an SP3. You don't have to worry about energize. You don't have to worry about unblockable. She will be a force to reckon with on this path. And the final defender on the path is going to be a cable. I am going to use a Nimrod again with very similar setup, slowly build up to an SP2. And once I have that, I'll make sure I have 8 to 10 armors and use my SP special when I have 10 of those blitz charges. That will do the maximum damage on shock, and I can take out cable quite easily. I'm waiting for him to throw an SP3 and then I can go back in. So yeah, Nimrod is pretty much an answer to most of these fights. You can also use other tech champions as well. Tech champions with easy access to shock or power gain or power lock or power drain. All of those champions work really well, and you can avoid the unblockable. Just jump around when there's energize, and you can take these defenders out. And that's about it for this path, guys, and I will see you on the boss fight. The boss is going to be a Black Panther. Now, this is a very touch and go fight. So whenever you will hit the opponent, you are going to get a whiplash charge on yourself. And once that charge expires, you will take quite a bit of damage on yourself. So you will have to play in a way where you do intercepts, because intercepts will refresh those charges. Now, if you get a special attack and you use a special attack, those whiplash charges will be transferred to the opponent. So you have to be very careful with that. And also, there is going to be fight or flight. So after a bit of a cooldown, if you're near the defender, he's going to get unstoppable, and if you're far away from the defender, you're gonna get unstoppable. So you can use that to your advantage to convert that whiplash to the opponent, and for the constant intercept, so you can keep refreshing. The name of the game here is to not let the whiplash expire on yourself, but let it expire on the opponent, and use your intercepts to refresh them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for joining me on this 8.2 journey. It's been a lot of fun. All 36 parts are up there on the channel, so do check them out, and make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications. All of that really helps me out a lot and helps me grow the channel. Apart from that, guys, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.